Welcome back friends, this is Fraser from FFART Studio. In this series we learned to model a cartoon character in Maya. Friends, if you haven't seen the previous videos of this tutorial, hit the I button and click on the playlist to check all the videos. If you're new to the channel, you're most welcome. We teach modeling, sculpting in Maya and ZBrush, also texturing in Photoshop and Substance Painter. And friends, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get the notifications. First part, we learn to model its head or skull. So let's get started. Friends, first we'll be taking a cube. Just place it around the head area, position it, and we'll smooth it. Okay, increase the divisions to 3 and position it towards the cranium of the head. Okay, so basically that's going to form the cranium, and we'll create the jaw part of the head using sculpting tools. You can use soft selection as well, so you can use sculpting tools like pull, or you can use the inflate one also to create the jaw. You can adjust this brush size using V. You can adjust the strength using M, and obviously dragging with the middle mouse button. So as you can see, we've got the basic shape for the skull from the front view. Let's follow the reference and get the cheeks out. If you see, the forehead area is always depressed a bit and it's narrow towards the front, and the skull is broader towards the back. So that's the basic anatomy of the skull. So you should have some idea of the anatomy. So with this, we've got the basic shape for the skull. You can push the front part a little bit. So with that, you can get the mouth cavity in that portion. Next, coming to the second part, we'll be creating the eye cavity over here. As you can see, we selected the faces where the eye cavity will be. So just try to position it roughly. Once you got that position roughly, these faces we'll extrude it once with a little bit offset, and we'll again shape it for the bordering of the eye shape. Okay, so that will create the cavity for the eye. So it's very important to work in both front and side, and also in perspective, so you get the overall idea of the curvature of the mesh. Once that's done, we'll take a sphere to create the eyeball. Roughly position it and try to match with the reference. Not necessary that it will completely match the front and side both together. Based on that, you can just reset the mesh a bit for the skull. Remember the portion of the nose bridge will go inward. Right, so once we got that, we'll extrude these edges inward. Okay, and we'll add a few more edges over here. Once the eye is roughly positioned, we'll keep tweaking the surrounding areas of the eye, make it smoother, and get it the proper form and shape of the curvature. Now coming on, we'll add a few more edges for the eye loops, for edge loops for the eyes. Okay, and it's a little bit back and forth. That's part and parcel of the game while we are doing modeling or sculpting. Now to form the eyelid and you can say the depression, you can select certain edge over here, and you can just push that in to get a depression. And for the lower ones, you can just use the edit edge flow to smoothen the portions you don't want the depressions in. Keep adjusting the eye cavity surrounding the eye. and smoothing with slide edge or edit edge flow tools. We should add a couple of edges along the corner of the eye. So we'll just adjust the edges around the top portion, and we'll add a couple of edges so that we get that curvature properly. Don't forget to adjust once you've added those edges. And using multi-cut tool, don't forget to keep the edge flow option on so you get a smoother transition. Come to the lower portion of the eye. Yeah, just smoothing out all the edges over there. So once that's done, coming to the eyeball, we position it approximately to get the reference aligned and creating the pupil and the iris. So it's very simple, just like the faces. And then hit extrude and make it in the center, and then use the scale Z and just push in so you get the curvature with that. And then using the move gizmo, just push it in back. Pupil, I have a shader created. I just applied black shader to it and a blue shader, normal, just Lambert to the iris. Once you've done that, delete history, duplicate the eye, get the pivot in the center, and hit the scale to -1 to get the other side of the eye. So let me show you very quickly why I have added more edges over here, so that when you're creating eye blink and expressions like this, if you have supporting edges, this eyelid and eye blink transition will go smooth. Next, moving on to the third part, we'll be creating the mouth. And for creating the mouth, you need this area. As you can see from the reference, that's the nose portion, so the nose part will be there. So we need to add a few more edges over here. Once you got that, you need to adjust these edges a bit. So you can use the slide tool for that. Slide edge tool. Now select these faces and extrude it once. Offset a bit. Now let's just adjust these vertices to align it with the lips. Remember, this character is having an expression, so we're not going to create the arc so much. We'll keep it almost straight. You don't stretch the lips as far as the reference is. You just try to keep it a little less wider. Now coming on to the last corner vertex of the mouth, just push that in and use the perspective view to get the curvature of the lips. So form that curvature properly. That's very important. From the perspective view and from the side view both. Once that's done, we can add a couple of more edges here to support the lip shape. Extrude this edge and give some offset and bring the edges down and up from the lower and upper and lower parts to almost bring them together. Do some tweaking. So we extrude it once more, and you can see that this from the side view, this portion of the nose, just smoothen out the lips. Add one more edge along the outer portion of the lip loop to define it. We'll just do edit flow for this edge loop and add one more edge loop in between. We'll refine the lips a little bit. So this looks great. The lips is looking fine. Now time to create the inner mouth cavity. So we'll extrude these edges and very systematically following the corners so that there's no intersection. Extrude couple more times to get the volume. Straighten and flatten it out. Get the round shape. Everything is aligned, looks fine. Now we can keep extruding and get the mouth cavity. Push it inwards towards the throat, and let's close this out by hitting merge to center. Once that's done, it is almost done. Now just tweak it a little bit and delete the alternate edges to get the chords. Remove the tries. So with that, the lips is also done. We can see the edge loops of the lips. We can add one more edge loop over here. As you can see, we have got the topology we needed for the lips. Coming on to the nose part. So these are the faces we need for the nose. So just arrange them properly first, following the reference. So once that's done, select these faces and extrude it. Scale it a bit. Pull it in front. Extrude once more. Scale it a little more. So as you can see, we've got the basic shape. Now it's time for a little tweaking. So just follow along to get the shape of the nose. You can add a couple more edges over here to support it. Now time for creating the nose cavity, but before that we'll delete one half of the head and we'll do a duplicate special to create the other half. Next we'll create the cavity of the nose. For that, select these faces, extrude and offset, align them a bit just like the reference. Once you got that, delete these faces and we'll extrude it. You can extrude without deleting the faces as well. Extrude it once more and we'll just merge the vertices. Once that's done, we'll just tweak it a bit to get the shape proper. Add a few. Delete these edges to get the chords inside the nose. Next, clean up the nose bridge portion. Smooth these areas out. You can see we need to smooth this portion. If you want, you can merge these vertices. And in order to remove the try over here or get a chords, we can add an edge over here. So that will provide us with the chord over there, corner of the nose. So once that's done, we are almost to the end of the nose is done. Friends, if you are still watching, you can feel free to subscribe, and would like to inform you that we are running a course on 3D modeling, sculpting, texturing, a 3D animation basic course and advanced course as well. So if you want to know the details, please DM me and you'll get all the brochures for the 3D basic course and also for the advanced course. So it's a 1-year course altogether. You can choose, customize it as you wish. So coming on to the ear part, as you can see, the edges from the eye will align towards the top of the ear, and from the mouth will align to the bottom of the ear. This is the jawline, as you can see, so it will fall behind that, following this these lines. So more or less, these are the faces we need for the ear. So once you got this faces selected, we can circularize it. As you can see, so the circularize option will just round it off. We just need to tweak the position a bit and then extrude it. So extrude it once, rotate it, okay, push it in, scale it if you want, to make it a little bigger. From the side view also you should see. And if you have a basic knowledge of the anatomy, you can just create it very easily. But for the cartoon style, we are going to create a very simple kind of ears. So we'll just keep it simple, make it a little bigger. Just follow this reference. So this kind of ear we are going to create. So we'll delete these faces and then extrude this edge. Just push it in to get the volume of the corner. So on the top it will be wider, whereas at the edges it will be, at the back it will be little narrow, and at the bottom also, in the bottom it will be little broad, and there will be a lobe here, so we can extrude these edges to create the lobe. We'll round it off, smooth it out. Once that's sorted, we can extrude once more, push it in, and tweak it a bit to get the form. Extrude once more, divide it, give a subdivision so that we get a nice curve, and then close it out. So once that's done, almost done with the edge, need to do some tweaking of it, add a couple of edges at the back of the ear to support it and to round it off. So with that done, we are done with the cartoon style ears. If you want to tweak the size and shape a bit, you can use a soft selection tool and you can do that. Great friends. So it's almost done. Coming to the next part, we'll now model the neck and just fix the topology and clean up the mesh. So for the neck, we need to select these faces, as you can follow the reference and see from there as well. So we'll select those faces and we'll hit the circularize button again. Once that's done, extrude it once, just pull it down a bit, and once more to drag it down towards the chest. To flatten it out using the scale and J. Now let's just scale it down, following the reference, add a couple more edges to just get the shape from the side view as well as from the front view. As you can see, we got the basic shape for the neck as well. You can delete bottom faces we don't need and do some tweaking to smoothen it out and make it more curvier and rounder. So with that, the neck of this character is also done, friends. Time for cleaning up and just fixing the topology. So there are some portions you need to fix the topology. The edge along the mouth will come straight. The ones which are coming from the lips will come down, and the ones after the eye ones will be going and at an arc. As you can see from this reference as well, we need to follow the edge flow along this. Yeah. So this is the portion we don't need. So we need to eliminate this junction over there and fix the rest. So just quickly follow along and see how I fix the topology. With that done, we are almost done with the topology. Now just time for smoothing out a bit. So using the edit edge flow and slide tools to sort it out. If you want, you can keep the eyelid like this, or you can also make it a little more stylized like it's normally done in the cartoon characters. So you can smooth the forehead edge a little bit, and also check out for the edges at the back of the head, smooth them out, even them out. So with that, we are done with the topology cleanup, and all the edge flows are correct, as you can see. Yeah, so you got that. And even the edge loops around the eyes and the mouth are also done. So with that done, let's finally just close out this eye cavity by extruding it. Push that vertex in to get the round edge. Add a few edges to get the round and delete these edges to get the chords. You can add one more edge to the neck. So with that, let's finally round it off. Delete the left portion. Align the edge with the vertices. Align the vertices along the x-axis. Snap it out with the x-axis. Now let's just mirror and merge. Just remember the merge threshold should be 0.1 or 0.01 so that no close vertex merge together. So we can just smooth down the edges. So with that, the head is almost done. Coming to the final portion, we'll create the eyelash, the eyebrow, and the hair base mesh. So for the girls, we'll have an eyelash for the upper eye and the lower eye. You can do a texturing. For the boy, you can create a narrow eyelash. For the girl, you can create a bigger eyelash. You can select these edges and convert poly edges to curve from modify to get this edge. Once you got this edge, you can just duplicate it and for the outer portion of the eyelid. Once that's sorted, just select both the edges, go to surfaces and create loft. Don't forget to select poly count and keep the count. Once you got that, just tweak the shape a bit to get the desired result. So once that's done, we can duplicate it to the other side. Friends, so the eyelashes are done very easily. Now time to create the eyebrows. So we'll select this edge for the eyebrows. Same process. We'll convert the edge to a curve. Now we'll take a cylinder and we'll hit the subdivision to 5. We select these faces, we select the curve and hit extrude and add divisions around 8 or 10. And we'll use taper to get this shape from broad to narrow. So once we got that, we can just tweak the shape a bit as we wish using the curve, or you can also deform it using edges and vertices. So once that's done, we can just flip it to the other side. So with this, we can see, friends, all these parts are done. We can add a shader, which we have created earlier, to make it look nice. It's now time to create the hair base mesh. So we select the faces which are required for creating the hair base mesh. So quickly you can use the tab, a button, hold tab and just select the faces for the scalp. Now you just hit duplicate faces from here once you got selected. So once you've selected these faces properly, just hit duplicate faces, push it out a little bit. You can extrude it once, give some thickness so that you can see it properly. Smoothen out the vertices to get the shape properly aligned and smoothen it out along the ears and create some space. So once that's done, you can delete these faces once more and work it out more easily if you're having trouble with the thickness. Once you're final with it, extrude it once more, push it in, reverse the normals to remove the black shading. Let's tweak it a little more with soft selection on. Now to create a pleat or a partition on the hair, you can bevel these edges. Now using the sculpt tool, inflate and move, we can just give a form to the hair from the sides, from the front. If you want to create a puff or spikes, you can create using this method. So it's a very simple and an easy way to create hair using sculpting in Maya. If you don't know ZBrush, in a very low poly mesh. So with that, friends, you can see you've got the hair base mesh already there. You can just push in these parts a little bit towards the forehead from the sides so that it looks clean and thickness gets gradual. So with that, we can add one more edge in the front to smoothen it out. Yeah, so this looks fine. Delete the history, freeze transform. Once you've done, you can just do all the cleaning up required. So with that, friends, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.